Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we basically simulated the season, and we had another really great season from Griffin. He had 107 points this year, so he's back to having his 100-point seasons, and he actually led the entire NHL in points. He was only one of 4 players with over 100 points this year. And so he's going to be taking home the Art Ross this year, and he might take home a Norris as well, but it's kind of harder to tell just because the fact Jeffrey had a plus 42 rating, so I don't know if he's technically the better all-around defender when Griffin was plus 15 and had 107 points. So it should be interesting to see who ends up winning that. But yeah, anyways, Griffin finished first in the league in points, which is actually insane, by only 1 point, just beating out Scarabelli. So should be a doozy of a playoffs, because we're not sure if Griffin will do the same type of thing in the playoffs as he does in the regular season, because he has been pretty good that's the last few years in the playoffs. Like, he's around point per game since right here, but before that he was just not as good of a playoff player. Like, he only had 1 assist in his first 7 games. But yeah, hopefully he could have a really good playoffs, like a breakout playoffs this year, and maybe carry this team to a Stanley Cup, who knows. But we are going to be going up against the Minnesota Wild, who knocked us out last year in the second round and also won the Stanley Cup. Once again, they're led by Jeffrey, but their team, I think, went through a lot of changes last offseason because probably salary cap reasons. But you can see they do still have like Stewart, who I believe was there, but they did bring in Dylan, for example. They also brought in Griffith, and their bottom 6 is a lot weaker than I think it was last year when they won the Stanley Cup, if I'm not mistaken. Defensively, though, you can see they still had Jeffrey signed for a few more seasons. This guy's a beast of a defenseman as well. We just want to make sure we could not let him get any offense going for his team, because if he gets going, then the rest of the team probably would get going. And yeah, the rest of their defensive core is not terrible. It definitely could simulate a lot better than it looks. Goalie-wise, they did also bring in Ryopel, so their goaltending changed up a bit. So they do got a bit of an older veteran goaltender, but he is a good goalie. He's good in the actually, he hasn't really played much in the playoffs before, which is really interesting. He does have good playoff numbers from last season, but he barely played. That's interesting. Don't know what about Ryopel, if he's going to be good and proven in the playoffs. And then they also have this Asplund guy as their backup, who actually simulated decently this season. So who knows how good that guy's going to be if he gets thrown in the lineup. So it should be a pretty balanced first round, I'd say, just based on how we both simulated during the season. They won our division with a lot of points. We lost our division. We were the wildcard team in the Western Conference, which is kind of crazy. So should be a pretty tough matchup, but if we can knock out the defending Cup champions, maybe we have a chance to beat any team in front of us. So let's just hope Griffin could go off and get this team to the second round, and hopefully beyond that as well. Because or else we're wasting these last few years and getting eliminated, which would not be good. So let's get into game 1 in Minnesota. We got a back-to-back situation. Actually, first, before we do that, let me see who's our starting goalie. Like, who do we want to start for the playoffs? Probably we'll go with Benson, since I think he had the better of the 2 seasons. Let's see. 907. Yeah, we'll probably start with Benson for now. He hasn't really been in the playoffs that much since he was with us, but he does have good playoff numbers the last 3 years that he has been in the playoffs. But his team has lost all those first 2 rounds. So yeah, we're gonna go with Benson. Last time he was in the playoffs with us, he was not that good, but he has had some glimpses of really good goaltending. So we'll see how good Vic Benson could do, and if for some reason he's not good, we could always put in goalie, or we can maybe call somebody up from the minors if we really need to. But let's get into game 1, see if we could win on the road, because if we could take some of these wins on the road, that would definitely help us out in terms of the series for sure. Come on, boys. Let's see what we could do here. First period, 2-1 for us. I'll definitely take that Petrovic scores, so not a surprise that Petrovic scores, because that guy's just a goal scorer. He doesn't really pass the puck that much. Tanaka didn't tie the game up on Benson, but then Morgan Griffin gets his first of the playoffs late in the period. Shots are 16-9 in favor of the Wild, so very solid first period for Benson. Hopefully our defense could kind of limit the shots a little bit in the second period, and hopefully our offense could continue to score goals on their chances, because 2 goals on 9 shots is pretty decent. Second period, 3-1 for your Houston Sharpshooters. Let's go. King gets a goal. It's another one of those younger guys that I locked up for 3 or 4 seasons, him, Petrovic, and Cole. That's pretty nice. Shots are 25-21 now, so getting more even in terms of shots. We have a 2-goal advantage. Let's lock this one down here in the third period. Come on, boys. Just lock it down. Get some maybe more insurance just in case. But, yeah, not a bad first game. Good defensive effort. Solid offensive effort. Mikulski scores, goddammit. Might have spoke too soon there. 3-2. Come on, boys. Lock it down. Lock it down. Get an empty net. Our Burns scores. Okay, thank you, Chad. I'll definitely take that. And then Radulov gets the empty netter. And we're going to win 5-2 in game 1 despite being outshot 35-29. So, pretty solid first game back in net in the playoffs for us for Vic Benson. So Petrovicky from Seadoo and Burns, Griffin from Petain and Sedin, King from Cole, which is funny, King Cole, you know. Burns from Griffin and Benson. So Benson actually picked up an assist as well, which is pretty awesome. And Radulov from McGrattan and Afenisenkov. So that fourth line kind of coming through with some points, which is nice. But Griffin with 2 points in the first game of the playoffs, not too bad. Him and Burns. And everybody on our team was plus except for the third line, I think that is, or is that the second line? I think that's the third line. Yeah, it's the third line. But a lot of pluses throughout our lineup, which is nice. And a very good performance from Vic Benson. 3 stars of the game. Benson gets first star, Griffin the second star, and Chad Burns the third. Nice. So we take 1 win on the road, which is huge for our confidence. Can we take a second one and take a 2-0 series lead on the defending Cup champions? That'd be pretty awesome. Definitely a good way to get some redemption on them for the last year as well. Let's see what happens in game 2. I'm going to keep the lineups the exact same for now. First period of game number 2 in Minnesota. And it is scoreless. Okay. Shots 10-6 in favor of them. So once again, they're out shooting us after 1. So we seem to be not limiting their chances that much. But we are getting saves from Benson, which is good. And we didn't convert in that first period. But hopefully we can convert in the second period. Second period. Still scoreless. Okay, we got a defensive effort in this game. Shots are now 17-16 in favor of us, so we're actually out shooting them now. So we definitely had a much better second period than they did. Who will end up getting the first goal in this third period, or are we going to go to an overtime situation where it's 0-0? This is a goaltending duo right now. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Power play early to start the third. We do not capitalize, though. Yeah, this is a goaltending duel right now. Who is going to get that first goal? And shots are pretty even as well, so it's definitely a very even game so far. We're running away on shots now, kind of. And we are going to OT in game 2 with a 0-0 tie. Wow, this is going to be a very interesting game. Very low scoring. Both goalies have been playing good. 27-20 to shots in favor of us. So since that first period, we've been definitely dictating the flow. They only had 10 shots, I believe, in the last 2 periods combined. Can we find a way to solve Ryopel and get a 2-0 series lead here in OT? Who do I want to call upon? Let's call upon Griffin or Burns just because they've been with us the longest. Maybe even Teratukin, for example. Let's call upon those veteran guys. Let's get it done. Come on, boys. Come on. Penalty kill early in overtime, and they score on the power play. It's Len Stajan, goddamn. And we unfortunately lose, even though we outshot them 28-22. So a good bounce back game from Ryopel. We do not score anything whatsoever. Damn. Who was out there for that game-winning goal? Nobody. Oh yeah, it was a power play goal, so it wouldn't affect the plus-minus. But I mean, it was a really good performance again from Vic Benson, but team loses 1-0, unfortunately, because of Len Stajan. So Ryopel the first star, Stajan the second star, and Benson the third. That's an unfortunate way to lose that one. Do I make any changes going into Game 3? Probably not, because now we're on home ice and we at least have a 1-1 series. Is there anybody on the team that's badly minus? Probably the third line, right? Because everybody else was on for goals for. Yeah, it's only the third line, really. There's nothing I could really do to change it up. Let's maybe just change Radulov and Zugomanis mine as well for something. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine, I think, and goaltending is obviously good so far. Yip is dropping off. Wonder if he retires this year. Yeah, we'll leave the rest of the roster the same. And see if we could win 2 games on home ice, because if we could win 2 games on home ice, then we definitely have a command of the series, but we just don't want to lose on home ice either. Can we take a 2-1 series lead here with a win on home ice? Come on, Houston, let's do this. Let's get the fans in this game too. Let's see what happens. First period, 2-0 Minnesota. That's not good. We have not scored in a long time now. We haven't scored since game 1. And we're down 2-0 after 1. Benson's worst game so far as well. 2 goals on 6 shots. We might have to turn to goalie for next game. Shots are 14-6 in favor of them. Tanaka and Connor have the goals. Can we get ourselves back into this game in the second period? Second period, 3-2. Okay, that's much better. Burns scores a shorthanded goal to pull us within 1. Milson restored the 2-goal lead, but Jacobs with a huge goal pulls us within 1. Shots are still in our favor, 23-14. We're down by a goal. Can we tie this game up in the third period? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Wasn't the best start to the game. Wasn't ideal, but we've managed to get ourselves back in this. Can we tie it up, though, is the question. Come on, Burns. Come on, Teratukin. Griffin, power play? Come on. It's a long power play, and we do not convert, which is not good. Final few minutes. Come on, guys. We don't have a lot of time, and we're going to lose 3-2 on home ice, despite out shooting them pretty badly. So that start kind of lost us the game. So Burns from Griffin and Jacobs from Yip and Cole. That goal from Milson proves to be the game winner. We outshot them pretty badly that game. 35-24. Wasn't enough. So Ryopel's had 2 strong games in a row, which is unfortunate. Any badly minus players in that game? McGrattan again. And also that's 4th line, or this is the 3rd line again? That's the 4th line this time. Yeah. So McGrattan's badly minus, and Benson had his worst game. Burns gets second start of the game still somehow. But maybe we changed up some of our bottom 6 a bit in terms of lines. And I don't know if we should go back to Benson again, because Benson had 2 strong games and then he's had his worst game yet. Does he deserve a break is the question. Let's change up these lines a little bit on the bottom 6, see if we could find something to get our team going a little bit. Yeah, maybe something like that should be good. I just want this team to simulate as best as we can. Maybe Jacobs down as well. I don't know. Jacobs has a goal, so now we're going to leave it like that. Defensively, let's change McGrattan and Yip. Get this down to a defensive top 6 pairing instead. And yeah, that should be good. Goalie-wise, Benson definitely has been good, but do I want to give a chance to Daryl Goalie? You know, we're going to give 1 game to Daryl Goalie just to give Benson maybe a game to kind of clear his head a little bit. Might be a bad call to do that, but we will do that. And I think the rest of our lineup, like our power play and our penalty kill, will stay the same. Actually, maybe not our power play. Our power play kind of struggled a bit. I'm just trying to think of who I can move to the top line. Oh, I know who I can move. We'll take Scuderi off the power play. And I don't know why Petrovicki didn't get power play chances, but we'll give Petrovicki some power play time. See if that helps him out the offense a bit, because Petrovicki's a good goal scorer. Maybe that will help the team a little bit. And yeah, penalty kill will stay the same. Okay, so a little bit of a line juggle going into game number 4. Can we tie the series up? Because if we lose this game, then there's a chance we lose the series in Minnesota for sure. Come on, boys. This is a huge game. Let's tie the series at 2, please. Let's at least split the series so far. First period of game 4. Scoreless. I'll take that. Shots 9-7 in favor of us, so we're out shooting him again. But our offense hasn't been really that good since the first game. So Ryopel definitely has picked it up a bit. And at least it's scoreless after 1, though. Are we going to get another one of those 1-0 games that go to overtime like game number 2? Probably not. I feel like somebody has to score in the second period, but not sure who. Second period, 1-0 us. Let's go. Petrovicki scores, so he gets a little bit more ice time at the power play time. And he makes it 1-0. Not a power play goal, but still a big first goal in this game. Shots are 23-11, so I think we've definitely been outplaying them this series in terms of shots, but we just haven't been able to convert a full amount in each of these games. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can get some insurance and lock this game down. Power play opportunity early, and Petrovicki scores a power play goal. Let's go. And Teratukin scores a power play goal, so maybe adding Petrovicki was the right call. Tanaka didn't scores a shorthanded goal, and then Petrovicki scores another power play goal. Okay. So yeah, Petrovic was the answer for that power play apparently to get going. So Petrovic gets a hat trick in that game, was it? Yeah, he does get a hat trick in this game. That's insane. 4-1 win, 3 power play goals in the third period. They had to put in their 75 overall goalie, which is interesting. And Daryl Goalie's going to get a win in his first start of the playoffs. Shots were 34-22. Yeah, Asplund was in for every single goal. Did their goalie get injured? Or did he actually even play anything? I don't know. We'll have to check that out. So Petrovic from Griffin, Petrovic from Burns and Seadu, and Petrovic from Griffin, as well as Teratukin from Zigomanis and King. So yeah, Petrovic picks up a playoff hat trick. That's pretty impressive. 3 goals on 4 shots. Love to see that. Griffin gets 2 assists as well. A couple minus players, but it is what it is. It always seems to be McGrattan now, which is kind of questionable. And a good performance from Daryl Goalie. But we will probably return to Vic Benson for next game. So Petrovic the first star, Goalie the second star, and Griffin the third. But did their starting goalie get injured? No, Ryopel played half the game. Didn't allow a single goal. And then for some reason they're like, oh, we got to change you over to Asplund. And Asplund played terrible. Allowed 4 goals on the next 18 shots. Wow. Did he get injured halfway through the game? That was the question. Because maybe he did. Or maybe they just made a stupid change halfway through the game. I don't know. Because that sometimes happens. It's really weird when that happens. Let's just go to injury report just to see if Ryopel did get injured. And he did not. Okay, so they just made a really bonehead decision to change goalies halfway through the game. Okay. Maybe he had to go through a long bathroom break or something. I don't know. Kind of weird. So we'll definitely change, keep our forward core the same. And our defensive core, we'll just change goalies back to Benson for this next game. Even though Goalie played good, Benson deserves a chance to be back in net, and hopefully he can play good again. And yeah, hopefully Petrovic could have another game like that, because 4 goals in 4 games, he's definitely playing like a very good shooter. And that's why I decided just to put him on the power play, because you never know what could happen when he gets that little bit extra ice time, right? Okay, let's get into an all-important Game 5 in Minnesota. Can we take a 3-2 series lead here? It's been a pretty back-and-forth series. We win 1, we lost 2, then we won 1. Can we win another and take a 3-2 series lead here? Come on, boys. We won 1 game in Minnesota so far. Can we win a second? Come on. First period of Game 5. 2-0 us. Let's go. And both of them are from Ernest Petan, of all people. Wasn't expecting that. 2 goals on 8 shots. Nicely done, Petan. 13 shots for them, but they don't get anything. So they're out shooting us for a change. So very weird series so far, I'd say. But a very even series as well. Can we hold on to this lead and add some more to our lead going into the second period? Still 2-0. Let's go. I'll definitely hold on to that. Shots 26-18 in favor of Minnesota, but a very good performance so far from Vic Benson. Does he have enough to close this out in the final 20 minutes? Let's see what happens here. Come on, boys. Lock this down. If Ernest Petan scores again, though, then that'll be back-to-back games with a player with a hat trick, which would be pretty impressive, but don't see that happening necessarily. Looks like we are playing some good defensive hockey here in this third period as well. But then Triff is going to score on Benson, and Dylan scores. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I, of course... Oh, okay, Griffin. Wow, okay, that scared me. Whew, I was going to say I almost ate my own words, because I was saying we're playing good defensively, and then Triff scored, and then Dylan scored, and it's like, oh man, 2 goals in 15 seconds. But luckily, Morgan Griffin decides to step up here with a big goal with 1:35 left on Ryopel. And just like the scoreline, we have a 3-2 series lead. Shots were 36-28 in that game for Minnesota, but we managed to get a win. So pretty good game for Benson especially. And except for that last, like, little bit of the game, I'd say. But damn, that was really scary near the end of it. So Petan from King and Sedin, Petan from King and Scuderi, and Griffin from Sedin and Petrovic. Big goal there. 3 stars of the game. Benson the first star, Petan the second star, and Acton the third. Pretty solid. Any badly minus players? No. Nice. Goalie wise, yeah, good goaltending again. We've had good goaltending, I'd say, throughout most of this postseason so far, except for what game was it? That game that Benson didn't do really good in Game 3, I think. So now we have a 3-2 series lead, and we have a chance to win the series on home ice, or we would go to a Game 7 if we lose this one. We're going to keep the lineup the exact same because why not? Griffin's over point per game right now with 6 points in 5 games. Does he have enough in the tank to give us this series win and knock out the defending Stanley Cup champions? Come on, boys. Let's get her done. Benson, I believe in you. First period of game number 6. 2-1 Minnesota. Not good. Not good. Shots 12-7 in favor of Minnesota. Milson and Tanaka have their goals. Radulov has our goal. Not who I was expecting to score, but I will take it. At least we're still in this game, though. It's a 2-1 game. Shots 12-7. Can we tie this game up in the second period and maybe get ourselves a chance to take the lead in the third or something like that? Second period, 3-2 for Minnesota. So we did tie the game up. Power play goal for Morgan Griffin, but then Dylan will restore the lead for the Minnesota Wild. Shots are 22-18 in favor of them. So Benson's having his worst game since game 3, I'd say. Can we find a way to tie this game up in this third period? Maybe take the lead? Who do I want to call upon? I have no idea. Let's see what happens. Maybe Petrovicki could get the offense going in the third for us, since he's a good goal scorer. Come on, boys. Let's tie this game up, or else we're going to a Game 7. And Acton scores. That might be the dagger. Of course this is going to go to Game 7. This is way too even of a matchup, I'd say. Oh, man. Power play late in the game, and we don't score anything. And we lose 4-2. We managed to outshoot them in the end of the game, 35-29. But unfortunately, we get the loss. Radulov from Griffin and Sedin, and Griffin from Sedin. Yeah, Griffin's doing all he can with this team right now. You gotta feel bad for the guy when the team doesn't win. And yeah, Benson had his worst game yet. So I think we might go to goalie for Game 7, which might be a risk. But yeah, Ryopel had a good game, Dylan the second star, and Griffin the third. Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Daryl goalie for Game 7, which is kind of weird since we've been starting Benson most games. But I'm not really sold on Benson's stats for some of these games. Griffin's got 8 points in 6 games. We got to win on the road to win this series. We've been winning games in Minnesota so far, so it's not that bad. But hopefully this team's good enough to win this next game. Get on to the second round, because I don't want to be a first round exit again. Yeah, I think this team is as good as we could have it. Let's actually go Radulov back up, Zugomanis back down. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. How about defensively? How's the defensive pairings doing? -6 for McGrattan. He is absolutely terrible defensively. Like, he was a -15 randomly in the regular season as well. Yeah, his plus-minus is not good in the playoffs and all that. I don't like his defensive play one bit. We're going to try something drastic. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to try something drastic. Give the best defenseman the play with McGrattan, see if that helps his defensive play. And then we'll go with Griffin and Teratukin. Because this might be Teratukin's last NHL game. Who knows if he retires this offseason. So let's get into Game 7. Real-time simulation. Winner this will go on to the second round. Can we pull off the upset and knock off the defending Stanley Cup champions? Or are we going to lose in Minnesota? We've won 2 games in Minnesota. Lost 1 in overtime. On home ice so far, we haven't been that good. So let's see what happens on the road for Game 7. Like I said, real-time simulation. Let's see what happens. See if we can get that all-important first goal. And Stewart makes it 1-0. And then Connor makes it 2-0. Not good, guys. This is Game 7. No, you know that, right? It's not Game 1. Maybe I shouldn't have started Daryl goalie. Maybe I should have started Benson. Stajan makes it 3-0. Yeah, we're losing this game. There's no way we're coming back. Maybe Scuderi makes it 3-1. Okay, maybe we can come back. But we're getting hammered in shots after that first period. And I mean hammered. 16-6. We're down by 2 goals. We just got to find a way to maybe at least get 1 in that second period, and then we could get back in this game. But I'd start by Daryl goalie. Not good. I mean, the start by our team in general wasn't that good because we just allowed way too many shots on goal. So Stewart, Connor, and Stajan score, and then Scuderi pulls us within 2. Can we get a goal to get ourselves back in this game at least in the second period? I'd like to take 2 goals on our team, but let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Petrovicki, Griffin, any of those guys. We had a power play, but we don't convert. Penalty kill, and they get a power play goal. Yeah, the series is done. This series is unfortunately done. Maybe. McGrath makes it 4-2. Okay. Can we get another goal, though, to pull us within one, please? Acton makes it 5-2. Okay, guys. Stop allowing goals. And Tanaka makes it 6-2. This series is over. Unless we have a random 7-6 final game where we manage to come back and score 5 goals in the third period. But Daryl Goalie not playing good. And our defense playing the worst it's played in the playoffs so far. So I don't know what the heck is happening with this team. But definitely uncharacteristic of us so far in this postseason. But let's see if we could have a historic comeback, because I have seen 7-6 comebacks before. But at this rate, I don't see us scoring 5 goals in the third period. I just don't. Let's see what happens. But yeah, not looking like we're going to score anything, because we didn't score any early goals. And they get another goal. 7-2 game. What is this? Zigomanis makes it 7-3. Power play chance. 5-on-3. We do not convert on any of it. And yep, we are going to lose, unfortunately, in Game 7 with our worst effort yet. Losing 7-3 to the defending Cup champions, who are going to try and go for another Stanley Cup. First round exit again. That's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. I would rather be a team that misses the playoffs than be a first round exit. Scuderi from Patan and King, and McGrattan from Sedin and Jacobs, Zigomanis from Griffin, and Ep.70. God damn. Worst playoff effort we've had yet. And once again, McGrattan was a -2. He had 1 goal, sure, but McGrattan is always terrible defensively. Sedin was thrown with him, and he was a -3. And yeah, Daryl Goalie is absolutely terrible. Maybe I should have started Vic Benson. But that was an absolutely terrible game for our team. We outshot them in most of those periods as well, except for the first. And in face-off wise, we also won more face-offs, but we still allowed a ton of goals. That is unfortunate, because we don't have a lot of time left in the series, and we probably only have like 2 years left to try and win a Stanley Cup. But we might run out of time. Let's take a look at our player stats anyways for the first round, and we will simulate up to the awards and stuff in the retirements. But Patan and Burns, 4 points apiece. Not bad. Radulov, 2 goals. Not great, but he's kind of a low-end bottom 6 guy. King, 5 points, only 1 goal, but 4 assists. Not bad. Jacobs was quiet. Zigomanis was quiet. Seadoo was quiet. I almost completely forgot Sam Seadoo was even on our team. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sam Seadoo was absolutely terrible. He had 51 goals in the regular season, but he dropped off a lot because of his age. Didn't score a single goal in 7 playoff games. Yeah, he's definitely retiring this year, I think. And then Duclair had nothing as well. So lack of depth scoring, I think. Petrovic was phenomenal. Most of those goals though came in 1 game. Scuderi wasn't that great. Finisenkov was quiet. Cole was also quiet. And then defensively, Griffin, of course, leading the way. Sedin was really good as well, 6 assists in 7 games. He's actually pretty underrated in terms of his playoff numbers. And then McGrattan, 2 points in 7 games, -8 was absolutely terrible. Teratukin only had 1 goal, so once again, another guy that's probably going to end up retiring just because he's really dropped off in point production, which will be unfortunate. Let me actually take a look at his playoff numbers in his career as well. 90 points in 155 games, pretty good. In and over 1,000 in the regular season, and 94 in the preseason. Gonna miss that guy if he retires. Yip, 1 point only as well, but a +5 is pretty nice. And then Potolny, nothing. So yeah, depth scoring was definitely a problem. Vic Benson was definitely the better of the 2 goalies, but I decided to give Daryl Goalie a chance for that Game 7. And I don't know, maybe if we would have played Benson, maybe he would have been the one to get us to the next round, but depth scoring on this team was just not good enough. Griffin was good, Sedin was good, Petrovic, King were good, but everybody else was kind of a bummer, I'd say. Even Chad Burns, 4 points is not the best from a top-line center. But it is what it is. So there is that. Let's simulate up to those awards and retirements and all that stuff. Hopefully we don't lose anybody huge, but if we lose Teratukin this year, he's going to be another channel legend that goes out without a Stanley Cup, which is unfortunate. Who is going to win the Cup this year? The Minnesota Wild win their back-to-back Stanley Cups. So that team didn't look like a Stanley Cup contending team to me with that bottom 6, but they managed to do it. Despite all the off-season changes that they had last year, I guess, they win their 2nd straight Stanley Cup. And once again, we lose to the best team in the NHL. They beat out the New York Islanders in the Stanley Cup Finals. And they went to 7 games in every single one of their rounds. Damn, that is a long route. 7 games against us, 7 games against Dallas, 7 games against Vancouver, and 7 against the Islanders. So they went the full distance in terms of games played in the playoffs, which is actually kind of insane. Damn. They must have guys with a lot of points. Yep. 28 games played for all these guys. God damn. But congrats to them on winning another Stanley Cup. Just sucks that we were one of the teams that they knocked out in order to win that. But let's take a look at those awards. See what else happens. So yeah, Minnesota wins back-to-back. Ottawa won the President's Trophy. Minnesota Islander Cup Finals. And yep, Morgan Griffin gonna win the Art Ross. Really awesome to see a defenseman win Art Ross. Good job, Morgan. Yeah, at least you're doing something for this team down the stretch. Tanaka wins the Hart for Minnesota. Griffin also wins the Norris. There's his 4th Norris trophy in the last 5 years. Griffin is a beast. He's probably my best defenseman of all time already at this stage. He also wins the Lady Byng again. I think that's his 5th time total. Haken's going to win the Calder. Tanaka wins the Conn Smythe. Kuhlman wins the Vezina. Kuhlman wins the Jennings. Raymond wins the Masterton. Frank wins the Jack Adams for the Islanders. McKinley the Selke. Tanaka the Lindsay. And Scarabelli the Richard. But Morgan Griffin cleaning up on a few awards, which is awesome. Definitely our best player on our team at this stage of this franchise mode. AHL award-wise, D. Salvatore won some awards, which is nice to see. Hopefully that gets him back to the NHL for next season. So there is that. Now the question is, retirement-wise, if we lose Tara Tukin, our team is definitely going to take a hit. We're more than likely going to lose Sea-Doo, but that's okay. But I don't think this team has a chance to win a Stanley Cup in these last few years. Because I don't know if there's going to be any other good former players in free agency and whatnot. So Boston wins the draft lottery, followed by Chicago, Anaheim, Tampa, and Vegas. Let's see those retirements. Who is going to retire? William Eklund's going to be the best player to retire, huh? Let's actually go by each position. Any former players of ours, other than these guys that are retiring? Duke Ferraro retires, okay. Former player Duke Ferraro. It was good to see him getting a chance to play with some of these teams down the stretch of his career, but he was a former 7th round pick. Plays 625 games with 190 points. Not bad. Pretty good for Duke Ferraro. Best of luck in retirement there to our former player. Left wing wise, any former left wingers on this team? Or that were with this team? No. No former left wingers. Huh. Kind of surprised. Right wing wise, anybody? Looks like Sam Sea-Doo didn't retire, but I don't think he comes back if he's just going to drop off a lot. Yep. Nobody on right wing either, so we did not suffer a single retirement on offense. Defensively, we do not lose Tara Tukin. Let's go. So Tara Tukin's coming back for another year. That's at least good. Hopefully he doesn't want too much. But not a lot of former players in this retirement class. Gage Ronning, there's one. 111 points in 491 games. That's actually pretty solid. Got a chance to play some other teams, but yeah. Not too bad from Gage Ronning. Former 7th rounder as well. Best of luck in retirement to him. And that might be it. Goalie wise, Jesse Park's going to retire. Okay, another former goalie of ours. 7th rounder as well. What's with all these former 7th rounders retiring? Yeah, he was a pretty good goalie for us for a decent amount of time. Also, he played some years with other teams. But he's going to retire with no Stanley Cups as well. Not a surprise, though. So best of luck to Park in retirement. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it for former players. And we don't lose a single player to retirement this year, which is kind of a big surprise. But yeah, I don't know if Sea-Doo is going to come back. Boys Claire retires for coaches, which I don't know which coach that is, but that's okay. I think that might be our associate coach, not mistaken. Let's view the contracts quickly to end off this episode, and draft class, and that'll be it for this episode. So let's see, all expiring. So Sam Sea-Doo is the big one that's retiring. He's getting statistical growth, so once again he's trying to ask for a lot of money, but he's not worth that much, especially with that playoff performance. Scuderi, He's a bit expensive, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Jacobs still relatively cheap. Teratukin dropping off a lot, probably going into his last season. He wants over 8 million. Hopefully we could get him for less than that. But yeah, a lot of big guys up for renewal this offseason. Or a lot of decent guys, I should say. Goalie wise, Vic Benson's up obviously for renewal. He still wants over 7 million. Daryl Goalie wants over 6. We might take a big hit goalie wise this year. But Bradley, the medium elite goalie, up to 79 at 25. He is probably going to be in the NHL next season, which means probably we end up losing one of the two of these guys for sure. But good to see Bradley actually becoming an NHL ready goalie. So there is that. Quickly also, before we take a look at the draft class, let's take a look at those progress reports, because I am curious if we got any good development, because we need that development. Chad Burns is dropping off. Keeler is up to a 78, which is nice. He's going to play on our NHL team next season for sure. Some statistical growth. Brock Cole's getting natural growth. A little bit of natural, a little bit of statistical. Not bad, okay. Goalie-wise, Vic Benson's dropping, looks like. Yep, dropping, not a surprise. In the system-wise, any good growth? Bradley does 79. Cabina's up to a 76. That's really good. That's good to see. I don't know if he's going to develop really quickly, but him, Cool, for example. Guys that could all make the NHL at some point, maybe. Festorani's getting growth, but he's kind of at his peak age. And then Leon Backer, who we just drafted, not bad. He got some good. He had a good season. 17 points and a plus 17. He's up to a 72. So you might actually end up making our defensive core at the end of this franchise mode. De Silva getting some growth as well. Okay, that's good to see that we're actually getting some good growth from some of our top prospects. But who knows if we're going to have to see any of these guys get to the NHL even. So there is that. Final thing, let's take a look at the draft class just to see what's out there. Once again, we did not have a lot of scouts this year, so kind of questionable. We're probably going to be right around the same spot in terms of drafting. Actually, maybe a little bit less. But there is some guaranteed top 6 forwards that are 3 years out. Top 9, or another 2-year out defenseman, huh? Sivilas might be interesting. Medium elite, maybe McBain. No, 3 years out. Yeah, once again, we didn't get the best results scouting wise. Any huge steals? I don't know. McBain might be decent. Scouts are recommending it to for us. So low elites. Hunter Rabbit. That's a kind of a cool name. He's a rabbit hunter. Richards. Yeah, I don't really know if there's going to be any good players in this draft again, but we might be able to still get ourselves a top 6 or something for the future. Let me actually take a look at the draft board quickly. Where are we drafting? 24, 22, 23. Actually, yeah, we're drafting 23rd, so we might not even be able to get the guy we want. We might just go with Reese McBain, even though I have no idea about anything about that guy. Gustav Varlamov, don't know anything about him. And Ruslan Koltsov, don't know anything about him. But yeah, our team, good defensively, but our offense has a lot of question marks, I'd say. That's probably why we haven't won a Stanley Cup yet. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft Glory franchise mode. So in the next episode, we'll have another offseason, and yeah, hopefully we can get this team another chance at a Stanley Cup, because like I said, we're running down time in this franchise mode, and before we know it, we're going to be starting up a throwback franchise mode for the rest of NHL 22. So anyways, think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.